everybody hear me? Okay. I'd like to call the regular Board of Education meeting for November 17th, 2025 for East China School District to order. Can we please stand for a moment of silence and pledge allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, items of interest, recognition, and inquiry, board members.
I have a couple things. First of all, I'd like to thank Angie Gleason for another great audit. And I would like to thank Dave Kennedy and his team for working so hard to keep our kids and staff safe. I started thinking of all the things that Dave has done since he got here, making our manual, giving us protocols, threat assessments, and the plastic covering on the elementary schools. So I thought we should thank you for that. And then finally, on Wednesday, this is for the board, on Wednesday, October 29th, I attended the St. Clair County Association of School Boards Executive Council meeting. We agreed to keep the membership dues at $600 for each district. We set the general membership meeting for February 19th, which coincides with the Tech Open House. And if you've never gone to the open house, I hope you'll attend that because it's very informative. And then we'll be hosting another online course like we did last year. And the deadline for our scholarship is March 6th, and we did have someone from East China last year get one. And finally, Superintendent Brenda Tenniswood gave us an update about the awesome things they're doing at RISA, and I'd like to add how lucky we are to have her working for our county. She's just a real inspiration, so thank you.
Thank you. Suzanne?
Good evening. I just want to provide the board and the community a quick update. If you have heard of the funding, the 31AA or 31AA, as it may be called, a funding issue that's happening in our state. I want to update everyone. A lawsuit was filed in both federal and state on November 13th. Challenging the language that's included in the 31AA of this year's budget that requires districts to waive constitutionally protected rights and privileges in order to receive the funding. 31AA funding is, the state allocates about $321 million to support student mental health and school safety initiatives. So the lawsuit was filed on the 13th of this month, and if an injunction is granted before the November 30th deadline, the 31AA funds will be placed on hold until a decision is made on the merits of this case. If no injunction is filed by November 30th, the state will then determine whether the funds will be included in the December state aid payments. I just wanted to make everyone aware of the lawsuit and the fact that we're going to wait to see how that plays out. And then I'd also like to thank Tiffany Jarsky for organizing and putting together the art wall that is, if you go out of the Innovation Center, out of this room and turn left, the art wall is on the right. And this month art is from Palms Elementary. So if you get a moment, please stop and look at the art wall. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Academic Spotlight. Marine City High School, Sherry Becker, Principal. Extracurricular clubs and organizations.
Good evening, President Westrick, Superintendent Saibula, and members of the board. We are all here from Team MC, where it's always a great day to be a Mariner. Tonight with me, I have our representatives from the Interact Club, Peer to Peer, National Honor Society, and student government, who will be presenting on our extracurricular activities and how they make a difference in school and within the community. If you see, we'll look at the slide that's up there. We are honored to represent Team MC, a community built of the 4 core values of togetherness, where we are working as one to better our school. Excellence, giving our best effort in all that we do. Accountability is accepting responsibility for ourselves and others. And mindfulness, intentional empathy, awareness, and acceptance of others. When you walk through our building, you will see these banners posted in all of our halls, middle school and high school halls. These values are the heart of our PBIS initiative, shaping not just our daily interactions, but also our involvement in our extracurricular groups like Interact Club, Peer-to-Peer, NHS, and Student Gov, which you will be hearing from this evening. Through these organizations, we bring our core values to life, collaborating across groups, supporting each other, and extending our impact beyond the classroom. Our students are waiting in anticipation to present tonight, so we are going to start with our Interact Club, who is being represented by Lily Shink and Jeremiah Mikulski.
What is Interact Club? Interact Club is a service organization for youth ages 12 through 18, sponsored by local Rotary clubs. Its mission is to empower young people to become leaders and make a positive impact through meaningful community and international service projects. The name Interact blends international and action, highlighting the club's global perspective on a project-based approach.
The purpose and activities. Interact is a self-governed, self-supporting, giving students the opportunity to develop leadership skills, demonstrate personal integrity. Each year, members are responsible for organizing at least 2 major service projects. Both projects benefit the local community and promotes international understanding.
Examples of Interact projects include a wide variety of activities, such as volunteering at community service events, cleaning up public spaces, making cards for veterans or seniors, and packing foods for those who need it.
MCHS Interact projects include Box City, which takes place in the spring, where we raise money for homeless shelters, like a New Dawn shelter and Shelter Box.
We get a thank you card from A New Dawn, and it's thanking us for housing a single mother with 4 children, with Christmas just around the corner.
Blood drives, where we've done one in October, in which we got 30 units of blood, impacting 90 lives. Murphy's Inn fundraising, which is taking place tomorrow night from 5 to 8. Murphy's will be donating a percentage of the sales towards our club. We will be having a raffle at the restaurant where you could win 1 or more of the 4 baskets we will have there. We are encouraged each weekend to go down to Downriver Helping Hands to help wherever it's needed. We partner with NHS with big projects like the canned food drives throughout the year and the Christmas Tree of Kindness.
Through these experiences, Interact members learn the value of service, teamwork, and global citizenship, preparing them to be thoughtful, engaged leaders in their communities and beyond.
Thank you.
Interact is overseen by Kelly Bracken, one of our teachers, as well as Peer-to-Peer, who you're going to hear from next, who is represented by Haley Townsend and Miley Negro.
Peer-to-Peer at Marine City High School is a student mentorship innovated to design to foster meaningful connections and promote academic and social growth among our students. This program pairs dedicated upperclassmen with middle school students, creating supportive partnerships that help younger students succeed both in and out of the classroom. Each mentor is assigned a specific hour during the day to spend time with their mentee. This may involve joining them in their classroom to provide academic support or sharing lunch together to encourage friendship and belonging. By present during these key times, mentors act as a positive role model and trusted peers, helping mentees navigate their challenges of school life. This program kicks off each August with training sessions for mentors. During the training, upperclassmen learn effective strategies for supporting their mentees academically as well as technically, helping them manage emotions and cope with social or emotional challenges. Mentors are taught the importance of understanding, patience, and active listening, and are given tools to help mentees build confidence, make friends, stay organized with their assignments.
Peer-to-peer is designed to benefit all students involved. Mentees receive guidance, encouragement, and a sense of connection from someone who understands their experiences. Mentors, in turn, gain valuable leadership skills, increased patience, and a broader understanding of what their peers may be facing. Additionally, classroom teachers benefit from an added layer of support as mentors help reinforce positive behavior and academic habits. The program offers a variety of engaging activities throughout the year to strengthen these relationships and build a sense of community. Events include a summer meet and greet to pair mentors and mentees, a Halloween party, a Thanksgiving turkey hunt around the school, a group Christmas celebration, and several other activities designed to make school a fun and welcoming place. The year concludes with a celebratory bowling party for all participants. To fund these activities, Peer-to-Peer organizes monthly fundraisers, such as a Hungry Howie's Night, where a portion of the sales is donated back to support the program. These efforts ensure that every student can participate fully, regardless of financial circumstances. Overall, Peer-to-Peer at Marine City High School builds leadership, friendship, and a culture of caring among our students, making a lasting, positive impact on the entire school community.
Next up, we have the National Honor Society being represented by Gina Fowler, Maddie Mackey, Lily Carruthers, and their supervisor is Elizabeth Westrick.
The National Honor Society is a prestigious national organization that recognizes outstanding high school students in grades 10 through 12 who embodies its four foundational pillars: scholarship, leadership, and character. And service, Scholarship reflects a student's commitment to academic excellence demonstrated by maintaining a high cumulative GPA. Service highlights dedication to voluntary activities that benefit the school and a broader community, showing a willingness to make a positive impact. Leadership is exhibited through taking initiatives, guiding others, and contributing to a positive school culture, whether through formal roles and everyday actions. While character encompasses the honesty, integrity, and ethical behavior as students act as role models in both their academic and personal lives. While a strong academic record is essential, local NHS chapters also set specific requirements for service, leadership, and character, ensuring a holistic evaluation of each candidate. Students are typically invited to apply during their sophomore, junior, or senior year, and the membership selection is conducted by the school's faculty council through a rigorous and thoughtful process, with an induction ceremony being held in the spring. The NHS membership is not just honor, but a commitment to uphold these pillars and serve as an example to others. Our current NHS initiatives is our passion project with the Ronald McDonald House. We're helping to support long hospital stay with their families and their patients. We're currently making cards to help with them, and we're also collecting Pop Tab cans for the end of the year for them to collect for donations.
NHS also runs a tutoring program. We like to provide help to younger students who need it. Through this, we are strengthening the bond of both scholarship and community engagement by helping younger students and current students with academic support.
This year, NHS partnered with Marine City Middle School and assisted their National Junior Honor Society with donating for their Field of Flags. Each NHS member raised at least $20 towards this, and together we all put flags outside of the school.
NHS is also running an Integrity Week. We have prepared activities that promote the four pillars of NHS: scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Through this, we're engaging school in a positive and integrity-filled week.
Another one of the things that NHS does is with Interact Club with their Winter Hat and Mitten Tree Drive, where we coordinate our annual collections of winter essentials to support local communities during the colder months.
NHS is also running a Adopt a Family holiday drive. This helps This helps families that are struggling during the holiday season. Through this, we organize donations and prepare gifts to support these families.
This year, we started a student welcome committee in hopes of growing our program while helping new students adjust to Moraine City High School by offering tours, check-ins, and peer mentoring to ensure that everyone feels welcomed and included by not only staff but also students.
Next up is our student government, represented by Lauren Muscat, Miley Negro, and Brooke Rensel, and our advisor is Amanda Deach.
I'm excited to share what student government does and how we help make our school a better place. We are a group of student leaders who represent our classmates. We plan school events, promote school spirit, and make sure every student has a voice. Our main goal is to make our school a fun, inclusive, and supportive community where everybody feels welcome. One of our biggest projects this year was the 2025 Homecoming Dance, a night in the city. Student government planned, decorated, hosted, and cleaned up the entire event. We created the theme, set up all the decorations, and managed ticket sales. Each officer led a committee of student government members that worked on individual projects, including the assembly, Spirit Week, decorations, and the parade. Our goal is to make sure everybody had a fun and safe night to celebrate school spirit, and we're really proud of how it turned out.
We also worked really hard to host our annual homecoming parade. Student government organized the route and coordinated the floats. We brought together classes, clubs, and teams who decorated their floats and walked in the parade. We also invited local businesses, alumni, and community members to join in, making it a true community celebration. With music, excitement, and tons of school pride, the parade was an awesome display of spirit and unity. For the homecoming assembly, student government planned the schedule, the activities, and all of the decorations. We hosted games, performances, and class competitions to get everyone pumped for the big game and the dance. We also introduced the 2025 Homecoming Corps and recognized student athletes and the teams. The energy was incredible, and the assembly brought the whole school together to celebrate pride, unity, and tradition.
Student government just finished celebrating Veterans Day, where we made a poster and invited students and teachers to write down names of veterans they would like to honor. We are currently planning an exciting Winterfest dance with a fun winter theme. We're working on decorations, music, and activities that everyone can enjoy. It will be a great chance to celebrate the winter season and make new memories with friends. We'll also be hosting the Christmas Assembly. Student government is organizing the performances, the games, and all the holiday cheer. It's a fun way to celebrate together and spread school spirit before we head off for break. We also have an upcoming events like making treat baskets for Counselors Week and Teachers Appreciation Week. We will also be creating numerous spirit weeks to keep our school a positive community. We will end the year with the seniors' last Spirit Week and host an assembly honoring them and the moving up ceremony.
In short, student government works behind the scenes and out in front to make our school a place where everybody feels included, supported, and connected. We plan events, celebrate our students and staff, and create opportunities for everyone to show their school pride. Students and parents can follow our Instagram page for updates and show fun activities that we do around the school.
Although we have different organizations, the Interact Club, Peer-to-Peer, National Honor Society, and Student Government, they're united by a common goal to make our school and community stronger, kinder, and more connected. By coming together, we amplify each other's impact, showing that when students collaborate across groups, we can create a culture of support and lead students into a positive change that reaches far beyond our school walls. Thank you for giving us a chance to share our purpose with you tonight. And don't forget, dinner tomorrow at Murphy's. Any questions?
Thank you all so much for being leaders. That's a lot to take on in your high school role. Like, this is always my favorite part, is the academic spotlight. I'm really filled with joy when I see the schools get up here and present. I'm especially filled when it's the high school students, because I know that your schedules are hard and you're planning for like life beyond. So when you're coming up here as leaders, this means a lot. Like, I see all of your faces and I know how much pride you're taking in this, and that's a big deal. Thank you.
Thank you.
And all our kids that are involved in multiple
Yes,
things
I saw in the
throughout year.
pictures, it's
Yeah,
all
it's
of you
not
and
just
all of
one,
them.
they're across the board, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Sherry, can we get a picture?
Thank you.
Sure.
I didn't realize they've been aware stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah, they really do a lot of paying coverage, that Park City and the Springs are big ones, they sleep in the park.
All right, I'll give a couple minutes for anybody that doesn't want to sit through the rest of the meeting. You're welcome to. The item is, excuse me, the consent agenda, approval of minutes, regular Board of Education. Hold on. Regular Board of Education meeting, October 27th, 2025. Approval of payment of bills, financial statements, and schedule of investments. A motion is needed.
So moved.
Support.
Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Departmental reports.
Good evening. I really don't have anything to update you on tonight, but I just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Good evening. I wanted to let everybody know that the district was a recipient of an L&L Educational Foundation grant, which is awarded to school districts that have employees whose children attend said district. We were awarded $10,000, and that is for the purchase of additional STEM and STEAM materials throughout the district. So thank you to the L&L Educational Foundation.
Good evening. A quick update from the business department. We kicked off open enrollment today for our health, dental, and vision benefits. This is the first time that we're offering it to employees online. It is back in-house. FRISA has serviced us for the last few years. So we thought it was a great cost-saving measure to bring it back in. We've been working with Mesa to get it all set up, and it was a busy day today with questions, but you know what, overall, I think it's gonna be a great transition, so we're excited about that. And then I feel like I always talk about two things, audit and budgets. And as the audit has closed, I am ramping up for a budget revision. So really analyzing the state aid decisions that were made and how that truly impacts us. By generating what our revenue will be for the year. And then, of course, our expenditures will have to be adjusted to match those revenues. So that's what we've got going on.
Hello from the Special Education Department, and I just wanted to share that we have no updates.
Operations Department, at the conclusion of the fall sports that we last week winterized the stadium and blew all the water out the line. So we'll be awaiting the activity for next spring to get it started back up again.
Good evening and gobble gobble, happy Thanksgiving. Nothing from technology this month.
Likewise from Safety and Security, nothing to update this month. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Number 6, Bond 2020 discussion and action items. Palms, Bell River, Pine River Elementary renovations.
tonight, we bring to the board for action, building renovation work at Palms Elementary, Bell River Elementary, and Pine River Elementary that will be completed next summer. In order to complete the building renovation at Palms, Bell, and Pine, the following recommendation is being made in conjunction with TMP Architecture, Auk Construction. Bid specifications were developed for this project. Concluding the bid, we conducted the post-bid interviews with myself, TMP, and Auk Construction, and then the following recommendation is the final result of doing all those post-bid interviews in that process. So that's what's being brought to you tonight for action. And is there any questions?
I guess on the, give us a little update on the electrical Brenner contract.
So, the last bid category that you see in this recommendation language, the very last category is the electrical, 26.1. And in that particular case, we have two electrical contractors that are very, very close in their bid, Brenner Electric and Shoreview Electric Company. The one bid was $2,031,500 for Brenner, and then Shoreview was $2,029,000. I would also point out for your decision-making process that the hourly rates that were submitted for these bids, Shoreview also submitted an hourly rate of $124.80, and Brenner submitted an hourly rate of $95 and no cents. And that comes into play as we move into the construction process, especially in certain trades like electrical. It can be expected that you're going to run into unknown conditions. And in my own personal experience, that can be anywhere from 5 to maybe 15% of the contract amount is kind of what you would expect to see in standards. That's why we put contingencies in place in the bond process. So it could be expected that, that difference would be made up. So you have a choice between Brenner Electric and Shoreview, but with what the expected amount of standard work that you would run into, it would probably end up being cheaper for Brenner, in my opinion.
And I'd also like to add the information regarding Brenner Electric and the fact that it's a local company with employees who are local and students in our district. The employees have students in our district, and Brenner has worked on our bond projects to date. So those two things to take into consideration when you're looking at that final 26.1 proposal, the bids either from Brenner Electric or Shoreview Electric. Ultimately, it's the board's decision, but we just wanted to add those couple pieces of information for you to consider when making your decision.
When they came in for or put their bid in, did anybody do a pre-walkthrough to assess?
We held a walkthrough that made the sites available for everybody that wanted to come, that was gonna submit a bid.
And did both of them show up, or?
Lisa, can you speak to that?
Brenner showed up, Shoreview did not show up.
Okay. So Brenner was, there was quite a few people. I was there too, but I wanted to make sure that I confirmed who was there from the electrical contractors, and it was Brenner and not Shoreview.
Just quoted off of blueprints?
Yes, for the most part, we develop a whole pack of specifications that comes from the architects and engineers at TMP. So it'll call out not only what the work is going to be done, but it'll call out different standards that we expect for that work, like certain specifications for the material, certain specifications for how the work is done, meeting codes, all that type of stuff. And every bidder is expected to follow those specifications when they submit their bid. And then there's a number of other things that are included in their bid that we check for. That's what we cover during the post-bid interviewing process. Lisa and myself and TMP spent 2.5 days conducting post-bid interviews with all of these contractors, questioning them, making sure they covered everything that was in the scope of the bid, making sure they were prepared, asking them how many people they would have on site, you know, checking their references, making sure they had the right insurance, all that type of stuff. You know, there's different documents that they have to submit, bond and whatnot. So it's a pretty extensive process that we go through with these contractors to make sure that they're capable of doing the job.
Thank you. Any other questions? Good. All right, thanks, Kurt.
You're welcome.
All right, so we will vote on this now. The Board of Education approves the proposal 2.1 selective demolition to DKI International in the amount of $215,800. Proposal 4.1 masonry to HMC Masonry in the amount of $30,100. Proposal 5.1 structural and miscellaneous steel to Campbell and Shaw in the amount of $31,375. Proposal 8.1 glass and glazing storefront FRP/aluminum doors to Daniel Glass in the amount of $227,476. Proposal 9.1 gypsum wall assemblies and acoustical ceiling to Diversified Construction Specialties in the amount of $312,971. Proposal 9.2 resilient flooring and carpeting to Floorcraft in the amount of $241,823. Proposal 9.3 painting to Continental Contracting in the amount of $172,180. Proposal 9.4 fluid applied flooring to Continental Contracting in the amount of $45,246. Proposal 10.1 toilet partitions and accessories to D10 USA in the amount of $20,639. Proposal 12.1 casework to FCI in the amount of $183,582. Proposal 22.1 plumbing to Contrast Mechanical in the amount of $217,000. Proposal 23.1 HVAC Mechanical to Watson Brothers in the amount of $1,648,000. And proposal 26.1 electrical to Brenner Contracting, DBA Brenner Electric in the amount of $2,031,500. A motion is needed.
So moved.
Support. Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Information and discussion items, bond 2020 update, general contractors.
Hi, I'm Lisa Bondi. I work for Ogg Construction. We're the construction managers for the 2020 bond program. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about what's going to go on this summer, so you kind of have an idea. Kurt got all that information. That was great. That was perfect. I'm going to give you an overview of the work. So at all three buildings, some of the work is going to be the same. So we are putting in all new ceiling tiles. We're changing all the lights in every single building. We're painting throughout, and we're upgrading the main bathrooms when you first walk into the building at all three buildings. So new fixtures, new partitions, all that. At Bell and Pine, we're going to put in a new fire alarm system. We're putting in a new secure entry that's going to be a little more comfortable, and it's going to have some tech adds to it to make it a little bit more secure. We're replacing most of the carpet at Bell. The flooring at Pine was replaced about 5 years ago, so we're not touching that. And there's a casework in each of the classrooms that has a sink in it, and that will be replaced in each classroom at both Bell and Pine. And then at Palms, the exciting thing is we're adding air conditioning. So we're going to get a new DTE transformer, and we're going to get a new electrical switchboard so that we can power the new units. We're going to replace most of the flooring also in that building. And then for the electrical, or the construction schedule, I want to let you know that the electrical contractor will be starting the end of February, working second shift. He will walk into a classroom, change the lights, put in the fire alarm conduit and wiring, and walk out for the night, clean the room. Teacher will not know that he was there. They will turn the light on, and they'll be very surprised at how bright it is in there. So that will start in February. Hopefully, we'll be done with that before school's even out. And then over at spring break at Palms, we're going to be installing the conduits that go underneath the parking lot to go from the new DTE pole to the new transformer. So that'll get done over spring break because we have to cut right through the parking lot. And then all the other contractors will start in the middle of June. We're going to have movers start the day after school's out, and abatement will start the day after that, and then demo on Monday. So we'll get started right away. A little bit on the bid results. We did have 14 bid divisions, which is the carpenter, the painter, the electrical. There's 14 of them. We had 41 bids, which is about 3 bids per category. So we did pretty good on that. And now that you guys have reviewed that and made a decision, we will be able to get the contracts out next week. Any questions about that? Okay, great. A quick update on Marine City baseball fields. They've got the sod installed, and it's irrigated, so they're watering it as needed. And the concrete will be poured the beginning of next week for the batting cages, and the sleeves are being put in for the fence posts. And then the JV field, if you've driven by it, it's starting to look like a field. It'll look better next week with some fencing and the infield filled in. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, annual summer tax collection. Angie Gleason.
Okay, the summer tax collection is imposed by a resolution voted by our board annually. This levy is for property taxes, including non-homestead operating mills, which is 18 mills, and our debt service on all properties within the school district, which is currently 2.34 mills. By collecting in the summer only, this generates the cash flow necessary to cover expenditures during the month of September when we're without a state aid payment. The summer tax collection allows us to avoid any type of borrowing. And with that, I'd like to recommend that the board approve the summer tax resolution at our next board meeting in September. Any questions about that? All right, thank you.
All right, the next is a FOIA appeal from Joe Urban is going to come up and explain to us.
Can we take a short recess?
Yeah.
I just need 5 minutes with you.
Okay. Go. 5 minutes.
Okay, good. We're back in session. Okay, everybody, we have 2 appeals from a citizen regarding Freedom of Information Act requests that were filed with the school district. The first Freedom of Information Act request is pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act. I am requesting records showing the total amount spent by East China District on attorney fees in connection with any matters involving myself, Lori Gardner. This includes, but is not limited to, legal consultations, arbitration, anything else the district sought legal advice for through email, phone calls, meetings regarding my employment at ECSD. Please include records from September 2024 to present. Please include a breakdown of by date, law firm, or attorney name and purpose if available. So the school district received that Freedom of Information Act request and processed the request. It processed the request by redacting only the detail of the attorney consultation that was given. So you'll have the date, the amount of time that was spent, and what was discussed or what advice the attorney gave. That information was redacted. The total amount that was spent None of those items were redacted, only the detail with regards to what was provided by the attorney, by each law firm. Ms. Gardner challenged that and appealed the FOIA response, and I believe that appeal says, I am writing to formally appeal the district's decision to redact information related to legal fees incurred regarding my employment, specifically costs associated with arbitration, consultations, emails, phone calls, and related legal services. As both a parent and a taxpayer in the district, I believe the public has a clear right to know how public funds are being used, particularly when those funds are expended on legal matters involving a former dedicated and loyal employee of 25 years. While I understand that certain information may be legitimately withheld to protect attorney-client privilege or other confidential communications, the total amounts paid to legal counsel, billing dates, invoice totals, and general descriptions of services rendered are not exempt from disclosure under public records law. Courts and state public records commissions have consistently held that expenditure details, especially totals, payee names, and general purpose, must be made available to ensure fiscal transparency and accountability in the use of taxpayer funds. I request that the district reconsider its redactions and release the full amount spent on legal services related to my case, along with itemized billing summaries to the extent permissible under applicable law. If the district continues to withhold portions of these records, please provide a written explanation citing the specific statutory exemptions relied upon for each redaction, along with a description of how those exemptions apply. Transparency in financial matters strengthens community trust and ensures the district remains accountable to the taxpayers who fund its operations. I appreciate your prompt attention to this appeal and look forward to your response within the time frame established by law. I don't see that Ms. Gardner is here to speak to the appeals tonight, so I've read the FOIA response, the FOIA request and the appeal request to you so that you understand, in her words, what is being appealed. We, as counsel for the school district, we believe that the general matters for the billing regarding Mrs. Gardner's employment was provided. It was provided under the FOIA request for general matters related to my employment. The specific detail, however, related to who the attorney talked to, what was said, what the topic of the conversation may have been, that can be connected with email correspondence between the parties, occurrences on dates, and giveaway privileged information as far as we're concerned. So our advice would be, or our belief is that the redactions were proper and that the appeal should be denied. That is the appeal on the Freedom of Information Act on our attorney's fees. Any questions from the board on that?
So just to be clear, who chose to redact the information?
As counsel, I was requested to redact the information, and I redacted it in accordance with the law, and also we provided a response with the statutory exemption that permits the redaction.
Thank you.
Okay. The second FOIA request, let me make sure I have it here. Oops. I'm looking for her second request. You guys have the text of the second request for the investigations. Thank you. The second FOIA request is pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, I hereby request access to and copies of all records, documents, and communications in the possession, custody, or control of East China School District relating to any and all retaliation complaints filed by the former employee Lori Gardner and myself. This request specifically encompasses, but is not limited to, the following: all formal and informal retaliation complaints submitted by Lori Gardner during or following their tenure with the district, all records documenting the investigation procedures undertaken by East China School District in response to such complaints, including but not limited to investigative reports, internal memoranda, interview notes, witness statements, and related correspondence, all records reflecting the findings, conclusions, outcomes, and remedial actions taken as a result of any investigations related to these complaints, including any disciplinary measures, policy revisions, or other corrective steps implemented by the district. If any portion of the requested materials is, okay, and she talks about exemptions. So the school district received that FOIA request, processed the FOIA request. It was about 177 pages. Pursuant to FOIA, one is allowed to charge a fee for the processing and duplication of materials, and charge, I think, about $42 approximately, less than $43, but more than $42. for the disclosure. Ms. Gardner appealed the FOIA request last Friday and said, "I am writing to formally appeal the East China Schools' response to my Freedom of Information Act request regarding records of retaliation complaints and related investigations and outcomes that I filed during my employment with the district. The district's response indicates that I must pay for 177 pages of findings, despite the fact that, to my knowledge, no proper investigation were ever conducted, therefore no legitimate findings should exist. The volume and cost quoted appear unreasonable and inconsistent with the scope of my original request. My complaints were ignored. Under MCL 15.241A, I am appealing both, 1, the excessive and unreasonable fee associated with the assessed for the production of records, and 2, the failure to adequately fulfill my FOIA request in good faith. Specifically, the fee appears to be disproportionate given the nature of the documents requested and may constitute a constructive denial of access under MCL 15.234.4. The documents described as findings appear to misrepresent the factual record, as the district failed to properly investigate or produce legitimate findings during the time in question. 3, to the extent responsive materials exist, I request that any responsive documents be provided without cost, or at the very least that the district waive or substantially reduce the fee pursuant to MCL 15.234.1, as this request is made in the public interest and relates directly to the district's compliance with anti-retaliation and employee protection laws. So this is a FOIA appeal, so the merits of the investigation, whether there's a feeling it was investigated or how it was investigated, that's not really what's at issue right now. What's at issue is the FOIA request that was made, the fact that the request was very broad. I can read it again to the board if you'd like, but it was a very broad request, and the records that were produced in accordance to the request didn't simply relate to findings, they related to a response to everything that was requested in the FOIA request. The administration's position would be that the fee was appropriately calculated. I didn't calculate the fee. I believe Dawn calculated the fee. But
Hey, Joe,
yes.
I just want to correct the fee. Was it?
Yes, point of clarification.
Go ahead.
$49.26.
Okay.
Okay, I apologize. $49, not 42. $49.46.
26.
How many? $49.26. The fee. And the position of the administration is that the fee was appropriately calculated, and the appeal, insofar as it relates to the fee, should be denied. There was time spent processing and duplicating materials. The appeal, as it relates to failure to adequately fulfill the FOIA request, it's impossible for the requester to assert that it was not adequately responded to without review of the documents. I think it really comes down to the fee being the source of the appeal. However, if the board wishes to inspect the documents and make a determination whether they believe further documents should be provided, that's your prerogative as the body that's hearing the appeal. However, the administration's position is that the documents were adequately screened, compiled, and an adequate fee assessment was made. So therefore, as with the FOIA request for the redaction of attorney's fees, the administration believes that this request should be denied. That's all we have to present you. Again, Ms. Gardner is not here to speak to it. Your board policies, which are published on your website and available for the public to view, do say that that a FOIA appeal is deemed received at the next regular board meeting after which it is provided. So Ms. Gardner appealed this last FOIA Friday afternoon at about 2:52 p.m. And so this is the next regular meeting, so the board needs to make a decision within 10 days. The only way the board can make a decision on a FOIA appeal is by voting. So there would be a motion that I would suggest on behalf of the administration to deny the FOIA appeal for attorney redactions and for failure to adequately disclose, as well as excessive fees for the reason that well, you don't have to give a reason. That would be my advice.
Thank you. Any questions?
How do you guys decide the fees, or how are they decided, I should say?
We calculate it based on the time that is required to do it, and under FOI policy is the lowest possible hourly rate for an employee to produce those documents, and then 10 cents a sheet in production of printed material. honestly, it's probably on the low end, just because we don't want to be excessive, and so we always round down on commission.
And I'm assuming or hoping this is somewhere on like our website or somewhere.
That's all part of the board policy.
All right,
And
thanks.
the requesters are always given an itemized fee schedule, showing
Okay.
how much.
Okay.
Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome. That said, the resolution before the board would be to deny the FOIA appeals related to attorney fees and related to the retaliation complaints.
Thank you.
Thank you. So what we're deciding on is $49? If she has to pay $49 to pay these fees, or?
Well,
is
as far as
there
that one
something
goes, it
else?
seems like a no-brainer, but the only other thing I have a question about is, so, were we not able to give her the fees that we paid as a district? Were we not able to tell her that, or is that in that 177 pages?
That's a separate one. You're talking about what we paid
Right,
in.
we have to vote on
attorneys?
both of those together
Yeah.
though, right?
So this is the documents that the requester saw all the totals.
Okay, so those are in there, she
Yes.
has those.
Yeah.
Okay, let's vote.
Well, what she's saying, blacked out is what she doesn't like.
Yeah, the redacted information.
Yeah, I saw.
Anything else?
Can I motion that, do we just have the motion on his?
We'll get to
you
the
have to-
motion. We'll get to the motions in a minute, right at the end, right?
Yep, last one.
All right. The next item is recognition of persons wishing to address the board. We have none. So, action items. A, Elementary Student Handbook 2025-2026. Per administration recommendation, the Board of Education approves the Elementary Student Handbook for 2025 through 2026 school year. Motion is needed.
So moved.
Support.
Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Secondary Student Handbook, 2025 through 2026. Per administration's recommendation, the Board of Education approves the secondary student handbook for the 2025-2026 school year. Motion is needed.
So moved.
Support.
Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. The last one is the FOIA request or information. The Board of Education reverse the FOIA coordinator's denial of the request and direct that the requested records be released in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act. That the Board of Education uphold the FOIA coordinator's denial of the request and issue written notice to the requester affirming the denial in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act. Motion is, motion.
Was that one or two?
This is the only one we need
Oh.
right here. Yep, not the first one.
The board,
Yes.
that the Board of Education uphold the FOIA coordinator's denial of the request and issue written notice of the requester affirming the denial in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act.
So moved.
Support.
Any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries.
Just a point of clarification, sir? That's for each of the appeals that was heard tonight?
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. We are